always fun.
Welcome back to the Popcorn Perspective. It's your host Jay and AK. AK, we have a pretty fantastic movie up for today. So, what is it? What are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely wasn't super, but it was definitely fantastic. But Fantastic Four, I do believe this is the start to Phase 6, is that correct?
Yep, it's the first one in
It's
Phase 6. Different
definitely a great
planets,
start.
different universe too. I love it.
Yeah, this is, Earth 818?
828. You know why that's special?
Great. Why is that?
Kirby's birthday, August 20th.
Perfect. I love that. It was a great nod to him since he never
know.
made any cameos like Stan Lee did. So it was
I
great
know.
to see them honoring him. It was great. Yeah, I mean, we don't try getting into a more non-spoiler for the first few moments. We'll let you know down below whenever we do start spoiler stuff. But wow, this movie kind of caught me off guard because we haven't had a good Fantastic Four movie ever, and dare I say, we have probably one of the best superhero movies.
Would we say fourth time's the charm here?
Yeah, fourth time's the charm for Fantastic Four. But non-spoiler, where does this rank? I guess in your whole MCU slash I guess just comic book movies
Dude,
as a whole.
okay, so this one's theme and tone is so different. Yeah, we have some characters that are quippy and they make jokes, which make complete sense. Like Johnny Storm, right? Like we've seen Chris Evans' representation of him. This is a slightly different take, but he is still that comedic, quippy guy, always trying to poke fun. So we do have that character, but not every
But it
character
was very
does that.
natural. It was
Exactly.
very natural. It felt
And not every character
very
needs to do that in movies,
no.
and they did perfectly with this movie.
Like you were talking about when it comes to Johnny, Joseph Quinn portrayed him actually fantastically. Like I honestly, I felt like of all the cast, he was the only one that's kind of shaky on the Johnny Storm character. No, he is Johnny Storm. He, unlike the Chris Evans movies or the Fan Furstic character, he's a hothead, but he is smart. He actually is like he actually does have brains. He uses in this movie versus him just being a womanizer playboy as he has been depicted in the previous movies. So I love the way they utilized him in this movie a lot.
And I don't think this is going to be too spoilery, but I liked how each one of the characters was more than just a superhero. We had
Yeah.
Sue Storm, who was an ambassador. We had Mr. Fantastic, who was on TV. He's like a Bill Nye the
He's
Science
teaching
Guy kind of
kids, yeah,
character.
he's teaching kids about science and educating them and furthering their like want to know more. And it was great. And then Ben Grimm he's that
He
family
loves being
man.
a chef. He loves being the
He's cook-
chef. Yeah.
Yeah, he's cousin from the bear. But yeah, but Ben Grimm, he's keeping the family together. He's cooking for them. He's taking care of the kid. If you watch the trailer, I'm not going to spoiler what kid, but he is that paternal figure that you need in that group. And then I mean, obviously, Mr. Fantastic is a paternal figure, but I love what they did with Ben. I love what they did with the whole family as a whole. It was great.
Agreed. And this isn't like year one of Fantastic Four. This is like they've been part of the world for a little bit, 4 years, I believe.
Is it
And
4 or is it 3? Is it 4 years? Okay.
it could be. I could be
Maybe no, 3
misremembering it.
years. Whereas Superman. So I got yeah. Never mind.
Yeah. So they've been part of it, and we also see a little bit of a flashback of where they get their abilities, them going to space. We also get cuts of them saving the town, saving the place,
The
New York
planet.
City, which is always getting shit-faced in basically every universe.
But can I say, still non-spoiler, the cinematography here, you can tell they built real sets. You could tell they actually
so
designed
good.
things with so much love and craft versus like, I love the new Spider-Man movie, No Way Home, but you could tell a lot of the green screen, a lot of the volume was used and made fight scenes and made normal like character moments kind of like bad to look at visually. Great movie, just visually had a lot of issues due to a lot of the shortcuts they used. I know it was filmed during the COVID era, so that's a lot of excusable, but
Right.
this just felt like it was filmed on location. It was beautiful. It was shot gorgeous.
Just to add to that as well, we get that vibe of futuristic 80s and they encapsulate that so well. And
It felt
I know,
like very much like Fallout, if Fallout never got destroyed.
yeah, I know we've and I have been shitting on Marvel for a little bit here because we just don't think the quality has been that good, especially with CGI. This movie, bang on. Really good
Not trying to
CGI.
get into spoilers, but there's this one big chunk of the movie that was all about maybe 80% was CGI, and holy shit, that
Are you
was
talking about the chase
gorgeous.
scene?
That was yeah. I don't want to spoil
Okay.
it right
Yeah,
now,
we're not
but
spoiling it, but yeah.
it it was interstellar level of beautiful.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah,
Also, something
Do
I
you
wanted
want-
to touch on.
yeah. Go.
No, the characters in here have such good chemistry.
Oh yeah.
They really feel like a family, and Pedro Pascal feels like the dad a lot of the times. We're like, okay, cool, dad, yeah, we'll do what you want, kind of thing. They really look up to him. Vanessa Kirby, Sue Storm, so good.
Amazing.
Oh my god, she
Who
pulled at my
is your-
heartstrings towards the end.
Who is your standout character of the entire movie?
Okay, besides the robot,
I love Herbie.
yeah. So I know who yours is, and I'm gonna do a cop out just because I absolutely loved his portrayal, and I was actually nervous about him. Is Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic? I thought he
Reed
knocked it out of the park. Just loved it.
Who do you think I was gonna pick? Or who do you think I was gonna pick?
Shala Bell? Is that, am I saying her name right? Silver Surfer.
So, Shalbal is a highlight character or a highlight part of the movie, but mine is Sue Storm, Vanessa Kirby.
Yeah.
She's every scene that she was in, she stole the scene. She had that, and I know she said in the interview, and this is probably where I'm getting it from, but she had that primal motherly instinct throughout the movie. On top of that, she kept all of the Fantastic Four in line. She was such a powerhouse in every scene. Like you said, she was a diplomat working with Mole Man, who is, funnily enough, Fantastic Four's biggest villain in the first ever issue. So it's cool to see him being used in this movie. But she added so much to the character versus how she was portrayed by Jessica Alba in the '05 movie. Nothing against Jessica Alba or her Sue Storm, but this was how she was in the comics. This felt very derivative of the comic Sue Storm, so I loved it.
I agree. Vanessa Kirby was such a great actress, and the way
I've never
they
seen her
portray-
in anything that I know of, so
I believe she's in
She's-
The Crown, if I'm not mistaken.
okay, I've not seen that. So
Okay.
But she was
There's actually
fantastic.
this
She was
really cool thing that she does with her ability when Reed Richards is basically freaking out about something, and she uses her abilities in a really cool way that I've never seen a character do that, which we'll get into the
yeah, get into that
Spoilers.
spoiler because
yeah.
I'm very curious. But I guess before we end our spoiler discussion, I think do you have any like major complaints or major gripes that you wanted to mention on the movie, or was there? Because this is not a flawless movie by any means.
No,
There's
no.
definitely-
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I definitely wish the runtime was longer.
Mhm.
I loved this movie. Like, I think I loved it more than Akshay. And for me, this is a near perfect superhero movie. We just lacked out in some character development, which I feel we could have gotten with a little extra runtime.
Agreed. No, I 100% agree. I know apparently there's about 20-30 minutes that was cut due to prior like close screening fan reactions. People say it was too long or it dragged out too long, but it's the same issue that Superman had as well. James Gunn has been very vocal about this. Apparently, a lot of the people wanted him to take out that scene of him saving the squirrel and other
squirrel.
scenes like that. Unfortunately, sometimes you gotta just let the creators have. You gotta have faith in the creators.
I agree.
Those 20 and 30 minutes apparently was going to build up Ben and the Thing. He, in the comics, is a very dramatic, very emotional character. He wants to have a family. He wants to have a wife, or he wants to be in love. He wants to have kids, and they show a little
And
bit
it did
of that in
feel
the
like they
movie,
had threads there, right? There were
Yeah.
threads that they left. So,
but
yeah, I wish
there
it
was more
expanded.
that they could have done with that to show the emotional turmoil. That sure, he loves the fact that he's able to punch and he can fight and he's a big, superhero, but he wants some normality. Hence why he's like
Mhm.
cooking. He wants the family dinner every day at Sunday at 7 and all that fun stuff. It's because he wants that love. He wants that relationship, and it's sad to it's a sad character, and I wanted more of that.
I agree. Can we, before we move on, can we just shout out Matt Shackman, the director, real quick?
Perfect.
He also did
yeah.
WandaVision, and WandaVision is probably one of my most favorite
Did he really?
TV shows. Yeah. And
I
now
could
this,
see
so...
the vibes.
Yeah,
were
it really
there,
felt
yeah.
it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I never put two and two together, but yeah, damn. Okay. Is he doing anything else in the MCU, or
He
has
better.
Yeah, he better. He'd be actually pretty interesting to see if his take on like the X-Men, because
Ooh.
he's proven here that he can handle
A large.
sci-fi, and also a large cast. Also with WandaVision, he's able to do things that's funky and out of the blue and out of the norm. It would be interesting to see him depict some of the X-Men powers and drama. Just throwing it out, this Marvel, Disney, if you're listening to me.
Well, he's gonna make them a buttload of money, so I'm
Yeah.
sure they'll give
Oh yeah.
him whatever he wants.
But let's I guess dive into the more spoiler stuff. There's so much juice in this movie that I want to get into. Where do you want to start off at?
All right, dude. So, Mole Man, he's basically the first villain we get, and he basically has a subterranean world or a subterranean city underneath New York City, and he keeps trying to, I don't know, fight the Fantastic Four, thinking that Reed Richards and his
Subterranean.
progressive
Yeah.
mindset, yeah, is taking the world into the wrong era, basically.
Basically, he loves being underground, and he's not a big fan of, I guess, any further exploration of Earth, and he just wants everything to be underground. He's
Yeah,
Mole Man.
which they
He
do
was
tie
great.
in later, which is nice.
Yeah, this is full spoiler, so he actually does end up working with the Fantastic Four willingly, because he likes Sue, because Sue is the negotiator, Sue is the politician, the diplomat, but he basically saves the population of New York from Galactus. So it's kind of cool to give him like a hero moment, even though he's typically just an egotistical bad guy. So it's kind of cool to give him some kind of hero moment. It was kind of cool to see. And Paul Walter, he is such a funny actor.
He is, right? Like I know Karate Kid. That's where I got introduced to him.
Yeah, Cobra Kai, yeah.
Cobra Kai. Yeah. In everything I've seen him, he's such a fun guy. Like he just
Yeah.
seems like an asshole, but you kind of root for him at the same time.
You could tell he just loves acting. He just loves being in all these roles. He don't care if it's like it's a role that's going to make him look bad or anything. He's there to have fun, and I respect that in an actor.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you want to get into that Act 2 chase scene? Because I think that's between you and I. I think that's one of our favorite parts of the movie.
Before we get there, so what I liked about this is they actually developed the Fantastic Four as a force of good and a force that the entire world kind of looks up to because of the diplomatic efforts that Sue Storm has, the public face that Reed Richards has. So it seems like the world does really coalesce around them. Like they put a lot of faith in them. So when the Silver Surfer Shala Bal comes and heralds Galactus, it does feel like they've put all the weight of the world on the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, so they basically expect the Fantastic Four to meet Galactus in space, stop and kill or like negotiate with Galactus or whatever,
Yeah,
and then just come back
Dormammu-esque
home to Earth.
moment.
Yeah, and just come back to home all happy and go lucky. Which it's Galactus. You don't negotiate with Galactus. You don't. You're not able to make that deal with them. And the people on Earth put so much weight on the Fantastic Four where they expected it's gonna be an easy solve. And when they find out that the Fantastic Four could not solve that, the population turns on them pretty quickly, which
We'll
is
get to
fairly
that.
realistic. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
way
we'll
they did
actually
that,
get to
though.
that.
Okay.
We get the Fantastic Four using faster than light travel, FTL, nice little acronym that they have. And I really like that CGI. It really looks like a wormhole and they're sailing through space in a sense. So I liked
Yeah.
the physics that they try to use where it's not necessarily they're moving faster than the speed of light. They're moving in a pocket space that's being forced with space in a sense. So that's how they're able
It's
to
kind of
get
like a
faster than
black
light.
hole or like a wormhole. Yeah.
Yeah. I loved it. Like
What
I
like
geeked
about
out when
this
I saw
is-
that.
And what I like about this is we know from the Avengers movies and the MCU Earth 365. What's the
Yeah, our original
acronym they
Marvel
use?
verse. I'm
Yeah,
forgetting.
yeah. The one that every other movie has been based in. Iron Man has been that like the brains of the MCU. He's the one who developed everything, and even he couldn't master space travel. I mean, maybe he just never tried. But I like showing that Mr. Fantastic because Reed Richards is the smartest man in the MCU,
Yeah.
and the fact that he's managed to do this and they're still living in I think like 1960s, 1970s in this movie. That just shows you what kind of incredible brain this guy has. He did something that even Iron Man never was able to do. Hell, Iron Man was struggling to get out of space in Endgame. They had to have Captain Marvel save him. So
Yes.
it's cool to see them showing how smart Reed Richards and Mr. Fantastic is. I love that.
It was really well done. And yeah, we finally get to see Galactus. I really like this depiction of Galactus
Yes.
being in a ship because it shows that yes, he does consume ships, but he's also a person that's getting all this material fed into him. So it gives us the opportunity for him to get to the planet, which I liked.
I don't know much about Galactus. I've only read a handful of Fantastic Four comics, throughout the ages. Not too many of them. I've never really read one that had like Galactus as like a main villain. Let us know down below. Is that something that he always does? Does he always have a ship that travels around, or is it just him as a cosmic being eating planets? I wonder.
And Galactus isn't a force of good or evil. That's what I liked about this. It was kind of
he's
like,
very neutral.
I have to do this. Like,
And it seemed like he was struggling.
I'm not trying
It
to
seemed
hurt
like-
you, but hey.
Yeah. It seemed like he was just, he's forced into this, whether he likes it or not. He has that
Yeah.
hunger, he has that urge. And I enjoyed the fact that he isn't just a bad guy for the sake of being bad.
And I could be wrong, but I had read somewhere where Galactus is older than the universe. The reason is when his universe crunches and our universe begins, like the Big Bang happens, he's
Mhm.
the sole survivor of that. And that's how he's granted these additional abilities in a sense of eternal
So
life in a
he's like
sense.
the
But he has to
he's
consume
the
planets.
last one alive. He's the last
Yeah.
of his universe.
And I
Interesting.
wonder how this ties into that movie you loved, Eternals.
Unfortunately, I think Kevin Feige, which we can, if you want us to do a video on what Kevin Feige said last week, please let us know because he let a lot of juicy information down for the future of MCU. I don't think we'll ever get any tie-ins with the Eternals, unfortunately.
But Celestials are still part of Marvel, and the Celestials are going to be a big part of...
but the Deviants and the Internals, I think that
Yeah.
storyline and plot line
that
is
storyline
kind of
is
scrapped.
yeah, it's probably scrapped.
Yeah.
But Celestials will be a big part for the convergence or the
Most
Doomsday,
likely,
basically.
towards
Yeah.
the end of Doomsday Secret Wars, it's probably going
Yeah.
to be something to do with them. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever get the Eternals back, which sucks.
I know.
But yeah, so I mean, you were talking about how Shalabal, Silver Surfer, heralds Galactus. We mentioned how humanity kind of puts it all on the Fantastic Four to go to space and confront him. That whole Act 2 segment, which is probably like 30, 40 minutes in space, had some of the most like outstanding MCU Marvel like cinematography and like visuals ever.
Yes,
This is what I
It
want
was
every
awesome.
MCU movie like. Yeah, like this visual. This should be the
the base.
this should be now the base, the par of every MCU movie going forward. Like they had to match, if not do better than the CGI, because this was beautiful to watch.
It really was. And when we actually get introduced to Galactus, he wants Franklin. It's the unborn child of
Sue and Reed.
Sue
Yeah,
and
she's
Reed.
at this point maybe around like 7 months, 8 months pregnant, give or take. Which
Yeah.
why is she in space? I wish they kind of like explained that a bit. Like, yeah, she's fine in space. We did, but whatever. It was fine. I didn't care.
Yeah, I actually liked it where Mr. Fantastic trusted her. He was like, no, if she's making the decision to come into space, then I'm not going to question
She's
it,
smart
in a
enough.
sense.
Yeah, yeah.
And she is a diplomat, so it makes sense why they would take her because she has the experience to try and
negotiate.
negotiate something. It made absolute sense to me. There was actually something I want to point before we get there. Her ability to become invisible. She creates her belly as invisible so that Reed Richards can see the baby. And I thought that was phenomenal. I thought that was so
she
cool.
did. Yes, because the whole time Reed is scared. Like, we have powers. We got touched by cosmic radiation. I don't know what this will do to the child. I don't know if this will hurt the child.
Genetic
if the child
mutation
be
will
born with
happen, yeah.
Powers. So throughout the whole first act, he's basically just running tests, trying to see if he can identify if the baby will have powers when he's born. And she's like, "Don't worry about what he might have or who he might be." And like we can, like then she showed her the child, like, "I can see him. I know what he looks like," and that was enough for Reed. He's like, "All right, fair enough."
Yeah, exactly. So
That shut
I
him up.
really, really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
That was super
And I loved
cool.
how the whole entire movie, Richards was used like he is a scientist. He is an academic. The whole time he's thinking logically. He's not thinking based on emotion. He's thinking based on science. In every action he does in this movie, science is the first thing he thinks of. Whether it be running tests on his wife for the baby's sake or his wife's sake, testing, creating wormholes to potentially move Earth, which we'll get into later. He's thinking 10 steps ahead, things that I would never have thought a movie would go to. he's already thinking of that. Like, he even thought about maybe giving my kid to Galactus. Like that was a thought that went to his head. Something he'll never do, but he thought maybe that's the only way we can live. That's
So,
something
yeah.
a scientist would think of. The
Akshay
pros, cons.
touches on it, and
Yeah.
Galactus does ask for Franklin because Galactus feels this hunger that he has will be subsided by Franklin, or Franklin will take his place. Either way, the Fantastic Four say no, which then leads us to one of the coolest chase scenes I have seen. Like being chased by the Silver Surfer in Faster Than Light travel, and the only way they can get out of it is going close to a black hole, creating a mirror image, and then jumping out with the time dilation. It would give them enough time, potentially.
Before the Silver Surfer's able
Yeah,
to escape
before the Silver Surfer
dilation.
escape.
Yeah.
So that's how that chase plays out, and it is so good. I
And
liked how the lasers
while-
were bending because they're in a
Yeah.
pocket space.
But what makes it even more incredible, that whole scene, is while the Fantastic Four is running away from Galactus' ship, boarding their ship, and leaving, and Silver Surfer is chasing, that's when Sue Storm is giving birth. So the whole entire time, they are juggling three different things. They're juggling escaping the Surfer, helping Sue give birth, and trying to get back to home. So the fact that they're able to juggle all of that while Reed Richards is yelling out instructions to Ben regarding the piloting, while he's working with Johnny to aim down Shalabal, while he's also taking care of his wife. Like, he is juggling. Like, man, I would have gone. I would have frozen. I would have frozen.
And
I would
what
not
I
have been
also
able to
really
figure out what to
liked,
do next.
yeah, and he was doing a lot of calculations on the fly while they were going faster than light travel.
Yeah.
Because if he miscalculated the black hole, they would have been sucked in. They would have been destroyed.
And he's also giving shout outs to, like I said, Johnny, because Johnny's on the gunner seats of their ship. But he's like, every time I shoot, due to the dilation, due to the wormhole, the bullets are going all over the place. And he's able to, like, for the most part, give him a proper angle on how to shoot properly. And he's able to
I
land a
think that
couple
was
shots on
actually.
the
I
Silver
think that was
Surfer.
actually Johnny. Johnny does that, and I think
Was
that was
that
to
Johnny?
show his capabilities. Yeah.
Okay, I might, yeah. But I just love the way all four of them was working together. Even Sue Storm, who's giving birth, is able to hide the ship using her invisibility.
Yes.
Which is, I've never, like, that's incredible. Like, that is such a badass scene. The whole
The
entire 30
way
minutes.
they had stakes in this movie and the way they played on that, the drama and the intensity, you felt it. A lot of superhero movies are not doing that, and I'm so glad
No.
they did it for this.
And we mentioned briefly Galactus. Ralph Ineson portrayed, apparently he was in the suit.
Yeah.
Apparently that was him in the Galactus suit, and it wasn't just a CGI model. That was 100% him sitting in the suit, or when he comes to Earth and destroying New York. That's him walking around mini models of like a recreated New York, kind of like what they
Ah,
did
it
for the
looks so
original
good.
Godzilla movie and all that. Where like they created like a
I can see that actually. Yeah.
yeah. So it's very cool to see. Every time he spoke, the theater boomed. His voice with that bass, oh my God, Galactus was terrifying.
So good. So good.
Yeah.
And AK alluded to this. So once they get into Earth, back to Earth, they fail their mission and they interview them right as soon as they land, which kind of sucks. So we see Sue Storm. She's drained. She's tired. She just gave birth. So she like kind of just like standing behind, and she's also trying to look at Reed Richards and what he's gonna do, what he's gonna tell the people. And Reed Richards tells the truth. He could have lied. He
That's
could have
who he
made
is.
something up.
But that's who
But
he is.
yeah, he's a
He won't lie.
straight guy, and he's just upstanding, honest dude, which is awesome.
And he straight up tells him, yeah, Galactus said, give me the kid and I'll let your planet live. But we're not negotiating with that. We're not giving up our
Yeah.
kid for something that we cannot even tell is going to be truthful or not. Like, he could tell us that and still wipe Earth out. We don't know. We're not going to humor that.
He also, when they
And-
say, "What are we gonna do?" and he gives the most scientific answer I've ever heard. I don't know. He admitted, "I don't know." Not a politician. A politician will always fake it. They're like, "Oh yeah, we got it. We got a plan." But he's like, "I don't know."
Yeah, like Sue Storm, if she was a little more eligible to speak, she probably would have twisted it and or gained the public's favor immediately. But she probably would have twisted some words around.
Yeah.
Reed is none. He's straight up to the point. I don't know what the hell we're gonna do. Like, we're gonna try figuring it out, but we don't know. It was great. I liked it. I like the way both of these characters have all four of them have something they're good at, and it's
Yes.
highlighted pretty obviously in this movie.
And then I
We
think we
kind
lead
of
on
didn't really
to.
mention.
Oh, go ahead.
We haven't really mentioned Johnny's story arc, which I think was fantastic in this movie.
Yes.
How throughout the first two acts of the film, they've mentioned they've been hearing from other planets or other distant solar systems a call, like a alien speech. Johnny is the only one who's able to communicate with the Silver Surfer when he chases her outside of the Earth's atmosphere in the beginning of the movie. She speaks something in her native language, wherever planet she's from. And due to that, he's able to basically decipher her planet's like origins and history and language, which I loved. It's showing that Johnny is not just a hot-headed womanizer.
No.
That guy has
Yeah.
brains, dude. He is smart.
He is actually really smart. Yes.
He pieced together a destroyed planet's old like language from like who knows how long ago.
Yeah,
That's
so many light years
badass.
away. Right.
Yeah, something like
So
that was amazing. To
that
watch.
actually comes full circle in a little bit, what
Mhm.
AK was mentioning. But just wrapping up the Sue Storm and Reed Richards tale a little bit, it leads to the highlight of the movie for me, which is the argument that they have when they're back on Earth, where Sue looks at Reed and she knows exactly what he's thinking about because that's her husband, and he does consider giving up Franklin because as a scientist he's like, I have to think about everything, every permutation I have
The
to think
good,
about
the bad,
so that
yeah.
we don't have to do certain things, and that just seemed
And
like
it's
such an
that.
honest argument.
And you could see in his eyes, he shattered that fact that he thought of it, but he's like,
Yes.
I have to think of all odds, and that's one of the things we could potentially do, and I have to think about it, and it's devastating for both Sue and for Richards to say that. And watching Ben Grimm or watching Johnny, their expression, they actually seemed pissed at him for saying that, which
I know.
makes sense, which I loved because they are family. You don't give one up, which I loved watching both of their expressions, especially Sue. She just turns off. She was just pissed.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
So the public opinion of the Fantastic Four has changed. They hate them. They think they should give up Franklin. And then Sue Storm has a moment with the public. What did you think of that?
That is probably one of the most powerful superhero speeches we've gotten in a while. It felt like something that Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that TV show, tried to do with the politician scene at the finale, where Falcon/Captain America was talking to the politicians, and you guys gotta do better. You guys gotta protect us better. And it was a kind of shitty speech he gave. This is the speech that they probably should have gone with. Something similar
Yeah.
to this is, we are here for, like, basically what she's telling them is, we're here for you. We are going to protect you, but we're not going to give up anybody to do it.
Yes.
And it's perfect. It's something
The
a
way
hero
she
would
phrases
actually...
it is, we wouldn't give up the world for... We wouldn't give
No,
up the
what
world.
she said is, we wouldn't give up Franklin for the world, but we would not give up the world for you.
Yes.
Basically saying, like, we're not going to give up on y'all. We're going to do everything we can to save you guys, but we're not going to lose. We're going to try our best to do it with no casualties. We're not going to sacrifice anybody for the better, for the better.
It's... The writing in this movie was really, really good.
Very tight and very
Yes.
well done.
And then Mr. Fantastic has the most comic booky thought of how to protect them, which I freaking loved.
Yeah, so he wants. So throughout the movie, we've seen that he's playing with time travel. He's like time traveling.
Well,
with
teleportation,
all,
yeah.
Teleportation, yeah. So he's like, well, we got to work a few times. I've managed to get it work. Sure, it's wiped out the whole entire New York grid, but
Right, yeah.
we managed to teleport like a ball once upon a time. So let's do this mass. Let's teleport Earth to a different galaxy similar to ours that we can sustain on. That's going to take Galactus, hopefully, centuries to find.
Yeah, so
That's
it's basically
comic
just putting your planet in a whole other solar system, hoping everything is
kind of-
fine.
Yeah. It's kind of just like, we know he's still going to come for us, but at least hopefully we can prepare for the future versus
Yeah.
dealing with it now. It's kind of like
1,000 years
postponing
you
the
can better
inevitable.
prepared,
Yeah. Which is great because it was probably the one part that even I was like, but don't you need the moon because of the ocean waves and...
Yeah,
the
some things will be
make sure
different.
Yeah,
At least you'll be
you make
alive.
sure like the sun, the sun is there to sustain, the planets and the ecosystem, but it was still.
He
fun.
did say
I
within a
enjoyed-
2% range of the habitable zone.
Yeah.
So I think they would have been fine. Would it throw off any other solar system just adding an entirely new planetary body? Yeah, most
100%.
likely. That would definitely
But it's
happen.
like I said, at the end of the day, he's trying to find the best way to save humanity
Yeah,
without sacrificing much. And
yeah. Reed
the
Richards
way,
goes big.
yeah, and the way the whole world, due to the fact they don't really have a lead scientist, it looks like they all, for the past 3, 4 years, only looked up to these four. So they were able to get the whole world to start building these teleportation devices on key areas of the planet, hoping it can use that to sanction the energy from all these different cities to teleport to Earth. And it was great to see that hope and inspiration of, for the first time ever, the Earth working together versus working against each other. The
Hmm.
humanity coming together to solve a bigger deal. It's something that we as humans need to actually look like at ourselves in the mirror and say, what can we do to actually better our society versus causing drama, causing hate, causing.
It's simple. We just need to find a
Yeah,
Galactus, bro.
you can. I'm gonna be underground with Moltman.
Yeah, so
So
that doesn't work out, obviously. Shalabal comes and destroys a lot of the gates. Let's call them gates.
yeah,
She's going for the New York one, but Johnny Storm goes the Human Torch, and he basically confronts her, and he shows her everything he's uncovered about the
about her
planets that
planet.
she's from.
Mhm.
They're calling out to her, they're thanking her. And that kind of just like registers something in her head. So she doesn't destroy that gate, which is important, and she goes away.
In
That
the
was a
drama, you
really
could see Julia Gardner, like her expression for Shalabal when she's hearing about her tales, her old planet and how she saved them from Galactus by sacrificing herself for her planet, and how she really doesn't want to kill a kid because it's identified that she had a daughter back when she used to live on the planet. And she doesn't want to give up a kid. And she's like, the kid in the future might give himself up for Galactus. Like, he might sacrifice himself like I once did. But it hurts her. Like, you can see in her face, her eyes, she actually does tear up at one point. And it's great to show the humanization of Shalabal versus her just being a herald of Galactus. She has so much more to her, which I enjoyed a lot. It's very similar to what they did in the Fantastic Four, the second movie, The Rise of the Silver Surfer, but this one was a lot more realistic versus
mm,
him just falling in love with Sue Storm, which was,
kind of weird.
yeah.
Um, I I really like the Silver Surfer's portrayal in this movie. I think they do a
Yeah.
very good job.
I want more Shalabal. I'm not sure how or where we'll ever see her again, if we
Hmm.
do, but I do want more of her.
Yeah. So they basically the next plan is to make that a lot smaller, their idea, and just teleport Galactus instead of just trying to do the entire planet.
So they want to
With
bait
this,
Galactus into New York portal
yes.
and
So with
hopefully
this,
send them to the outer skirts of the universe.
they need to basically abandon the New York because they don't really know where he's gonna come from. He's a giant, towering skyscraper, is that right? So to do that, they actually get in touch with Mole Man, and he allows those people to go live in Subterranea or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Basically, the
Subterranean, the
subterranean.
underground,
Yeah.
city that he built. Why not? It's a comic book. You gotta go with it.
I know. And this was where we actually get a little bit more characterization of Galactus when he actually lands down and he gets to smell and touch the trees and the grass. It honestly does feel like this isn't a bad dude. It's just this is his mission in life. Even when they're fighting him, he's not really trying to kill them. It's more an annoyance, like an ant or a wasp in his thing. It's like just fly off. It's like I don't really
Just go.
care.
Just
Yeah.
I love that scene though where Galactus first lands on Earth and he leaves his ship up in space so he can potentially take Franklin Richard, who he wants. He stares at the Statue of Liberty and he gives like a funny smirk. But I feel like he's looking at the statue and thinking, "Is this who y'all worship?" Because we've seen how y'all look. Y'all are puny, small little creatures with a big statue booming in New York. So the smirk he gave was hilarious because he was like, "What the hell is this thing doing here? Like, who's this?" His facial expressions, Galactus, even though he is very menacing, like I said, Ralph, he's in the suit. He gives a lot of expression to the character, and I loved it.
He does. I think this is where one of AK's points are prevalent. This is the only time we actually see Pedro Pascal present his abilities in a significant way. Prior to that, throughout the movie, we didn't really get to see Mr. Fantastic
Yeah,
with his stretchy
we saw
abilities.
glimpses of him fighting like Red Guardian or fighting other like villains of their past, but it was like a montage, like 30-40 second increments of like each fight. So you really don't get to see Richard use his power, his stretchy ability. You get to see it here in the fight, but it wasn't. If you watch the original Fantastic Four movies, that guy uses it to like, I think he uses it on Johnny Storm once, where he basically like snakes around Johnny Storm, just comic book random shit, or he has like a dance sequence where he extends his body to dance. It's stupid stuff, but you get to see his power being used. You really don't get to see that here, unfortunately, in this movie until that scene, until that fight.
So I'm actually okay with it, and the reason I say that is, firstly, I hate Mr. Fantastic's ability. I think it's really dumb. And his greatest superpower is his mind. He is a freaking genius, and I think his abilities lend to his elasticity with his mind. Therefore, he can think of things at a whole other level because he's so malleable in his mind as well.
I like the
So
way.
that's how I
like
always
that.
interpret his abilities.
I mean, it was used a lot better than it was with Miles Teller and Pants First Stick. I'll give you that. I still remember the most uncanny scene watching that movie in the theater is when Miles Teller, the actor who played Mr. Fantastic, he uses his stretchy ability to basically morph his face into a different actor for like a minute when he's running away from the government. And it was probably the most scariest thing I've ever seen in TV or movie.
Okay, can we touch on the fact that you watched it in theater?
That's back when I worked at the movie theater. It was a free ticket. It was open. It was like a Tuesday night before the movie came out. I was like one of the first people to watch it because we used to watch the movies early. Remember, I invited you to a whole bunch of those back in the day. Yeah,
Yes.
that was one of the movies I think nobody else went to. It was just me and my coworkers. At the end of the movie, we all walked down and said, "Yeah, it ain't gonna be busy this week. It is not gonna be
was a
busy,"
really
and it
bad
wasn't.
movie. It was a really bad movie.
Yeah.
We have a lot of key moments in this battle. One of them is Galactus stretching Reed Richards. And you actually
Holy crap,
don't know
Alex.
where it's going with this, right? Like, I didn't.
Yeah, because
Like, I was
I
super
love the
tense.
fact
I'm like,
it's like-
are they going to kill him?
Because like we all know his ability is to stretch, but Galactus being a cosmic force, a cosmic being, this guy is pulling him like you're pulling a rubber band, and you're just waiting for that band to snap. Because their suits are made to support their power. Like Johnny's suit does not catch on fire. Sue Storm can go invisible, and her clothes still stay on her, unlike the Fantastic Four movie where they made her naked every time she went invisible. Ben Grimm's clothes does not rip off, even though he's like a big, muscular, hulking figure. No, his suit was ripping. It was tearing up. And I was like, holy crap, how much force is Galactus
Oh my
using?
gosh.
It was
I know.
incredible to watch.
It was. It really was. And another big scene we get is while they're trying to fight Galactus, and Sue Storm has her moment, dude. Like, she is putting all of her force into pushing Galactus into the portal. We get a scene of the Human Torch, Johnny, basically telling them, hey, tell
Tell Franklin I
Franklin.
love him.
his uncle loves him. And that just broke my heart because you know he's going to go sacrifice himself. Thankfully, Shalabal comes, pushes him out of the way, and then takes out Galactus right at the end. Well, takes him to a
But the
separate...
fact that Johnny Storm is willing to put himself in the front line, potentially sacrificing himself for
I
what
love
he
that.
believes is his nephew's future, that's what this movie's all about. It's family. Fantastic Four is a family. Like, when I say a family film, I'm talking about like it's a family like unit, and it was amazing. All of them were willing to sacrifice themselves to save another, and it was beautiful to watch. I know you mentioned it briefly. That's that whole scene with Sue Storm pushing and forcing Galactus into the wormhole. That's what I said earlier. So the actress said when she was doing that scene, she wanted to tap into a motherly, like a primal, like motherly love, motherly instinct, where she's willing to sacrifice herself to save her son. And that scene was so well shot, beautiful. Vanessa Kirby, holy crap, that emotion in her face when she's just using anything she has, every ounce of her being, to get Galactus out of here was incredible to watch. And just watching,
It really was.
fantastic. Watching Pedro Pascal, just watching him, like watching his wife potentially kill herself, and He
There's
knows
nothing he can do.
there's nothing he
Yeah.
can do. If he stops his wife, Galactus wins. He's stuck with a dilemma. He's just watching the chaos, and it was so beautifully done, and each character had their moment to like I
Shine.
said earlier, to shine. Each one did.
Talking about Grimm.
Even Ben Grimm.
Did
Ben
you like
Grimm
his beard?
literally- I love the beard.
I loved
was
it.
So
I loved
it
his
was
beard.
dope. Oh my god. But like we were talking about, everyone had a time to shine. Even Ben Grimm, like he knocks over a whole entire building when he
Yes.
breaks down the pillar because Galactus is leaning on the pillar for support while Sue is like forcing him into the wormhole. He knocks the whole building down. Yeah, that was amazing to watch.
know.
He basically stops Galactus from using support, so he had nowhere to go but the hole, and it was so incredible to watch all four of them working together as a team versus Fantastic. I mentioned it multiple times. They never once fought as a team.
Yeah, we don't talk about that movie.
No, the movie was just so bad. I tried to rewatch it before I watched this movie, kind of like what I did with Man of Steel
Why?
before I watched Superman. Just wanted to watch the last iteration before I watched the new. I didn't even finish 20, 30 minutes into the movie, and I was like, nah, we done. We would
Yeah,
turn this off. It was
it's
bad.
really bad.
It wasn't worth my time. I think I got to like the first ad on Disney Plus, and I was like, yeah, that's a good time to stop.
So Franklin brings back Sue Storm. We think that she died, but Franklin has some
Yes.
crazy powers.
Cosmic powers. So, if you actually notice, rewatch either if you want to rewatch the whole movie of Guardian of the Galaxy 2, definitely do. But it's a good movie. But I think it's a scene where his dad basically gives him the power. Where what's the dad's name? What's the dad in the movie? The planet
Ego.
Planet Ego. When Ego gives or shows Peter that he has a power, his eyes glow purple. And when Franklin, because he's a cosmic being, when Franklin saves his mom, his eyes turn purple.
Ooh.
So I love the continuity of cosmic being the color purple. I think
Dang.
the space stone in Infinity Wars was also purple. So I love
I
the
see.
constant
Okay.
use of purple being cosmic.
Nice.
It's just good to see. I like the continuity. There is something called the color trigger theory. I think MT, if you follow him on Twitter, follow him on YouTube, he has a theory basically that every color is building into a bigger like Avengers or bigger like movie in the future, and now every color has a power set or a relation. Like yellow is focused on like science based or whatever. I can't remember his
Dang,
theory,
okay.
but everything he's done so far, it's kind of shown that he is onto something. So follow MT on Twitter if you want. He's fantastic. His theories are mind blowing.
Yeah.
I caught that in the movie, and the first thing I said was, "Damn it, MT, you're like, damn, you're good."
That pretty much concludes the movie. Is there anything that you want to touch on?
The post credit scene.
Well, before we got there.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I thought this and Thunderbolts, even Captain America, we know it had its issues, it had its flaws, it had a lot of like chopped, like, you could tell there was like multiple movies chopped together with that, but it was fun. I enjoyed it, and I think that's all Marvel needs to do is fun, enjoyable movies. But this was a real treat. This and Thunderbolts were the highlights of the year. Obviously, Superman is up there as well, but I think I like this more than Superman. The more I
Really?
think about it,
Whoa.
I don't know. I think the Act 2 on this movie versus the Act 2 of Superman when Superman is escaping the pocket dimension, I think this Act 2 was such a highlight of the movie where I think I like this movie more than Superman.
Okay. When I went to watch this movie, I watched it with a friend from work. So he's been out of Marvel. He hasn't watched a lot of the TV shows. He skipped a few of the movies. And I was kind of hyping up this movie. I was like, yeah, I think it's going to be really good. So he's like, okay, let me come with you. We went, we watched it. He loved it. He's like, I didn't have to do any homework. I didn't have to know anything
Yes.
else. I came, I watched it, I loved it. The next day he went to go watch it again. This is a movie that I feel will bring back Marvel fans. This is a
Wow,
great
educate-
movie.
Wow.
And I can't wait for Marvel to do more of this.
I mean, apparently, with in the I guess the Marvel sphere and the filming process of Doomsday, apparently they said I apologize. Richard is going to be a leader of in the movie. Like he's going to be one of the big one of the characters with the most screen time, which I can't wait for because Pedro Pascal's still he proved to everybody
good.
that this wasn't a cast based on popularity of an actor. This was a cast based on no, he can do it, and he did it.
You know, I'm looking back and for the most part, I feel Marvel gets their casting really well. Even people
They
didn't
really
like
do.
that movie, Incredibles. I still thought the cast was really good.
Incredibles,
No, what is it called?
The Eternals,
Immortals? Eternals, there we
The
go.
Incredibles
Yeah.
is that amazing animated movie
Yes.
that is basically Fantastic
Yeah,
Four.
parallel. Fantastic Four. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
but
The Eternals.
Marvel
they had a really
always
good cast.
cooks with their cast. They have,
Most times.
unless you talk about the post credit scene for the Eternals with that weird ass dwarf monster creature and Harry Styles. That's probably the only thing that was like, where are we going with this now? Like, the movie
Yeah.
was great, but this was not necessary. And like I said, we'll never see that again. So unfortunately, but yeah, Marvel 90% of the time they cook, and this is not, this is one of them. This was a great movie. All in all the actors pulled their weight. I just want more. I want more of this cast. I want more Fantastic Four, and I want more Fantastic Four in this universe.
Hmm. Yes.
I don't. I do want to see them mixed with our Avengers and our MCU Earth, but I want another movie with this universe because the cast and Sue Storm's secretary was great. The interviewer, the guy, the TV reporter, was fantastic. Like I loved just the everyday characters on the street of this Earth 8.
That secretary, isn't she from Ted Lasso?
Wait, is she the therapist?
The therapist.
Wow! Holy shit!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a great actress.
No. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. So
And I want more Moldman. Like I want more people from this earth. I know
Yes.
Natasha Lyonne. Unfortunately, she was underutilized as the teacher that Ben Grimm was talking to a few times. I want more of her because she's a great actress. Natasha
Yeah.
is a fantastic actress, but she was so underused in this movie, and I want more of her. And like I said, I want more of the characters of this earth in the movie. So whether it be Fantastic Four 2, Second Steps, whatever you want to call it, I want more of the this planet and this universe. But you want to get into that juicy ass post
mid-credit scene. Yeah.
mid credit scene, yeah. Take it
Yeah,
away.
so we get the introduction finally of Franklin and Doom.
Yeah, so Sue, I think it's like 3 years later, so I think Franklin's like 3 to 4 years old at this point. I think they said his age in the background when Sue was talking to Herbie, but the lights flicker and she comes back to check on her son, and who's standing right beside Franklin is Doom.
With his mask off.
Yes. And I don't know, is this the implication of what brings them to our universe? Does he kidnap Franklin? We do know, or at least they don't show it in the movie, but I know based on comic that he is able to create pocket dimensions and pocket universes. The whole point of Doomsday leading into Secret Wars is basically he creates he creates like a battle world, a world basically like Mortal Kombat where all the heroes face off and fight to basically conquer, to see who is the most superior universe. That's kind of a rough storyline. Obviously there's a lot more going on, which I don't want to get into because that's spoilers. So much happens in that comic issue. So I wonder if is he wanting to use him to either heal his faces, because we know Doom has like a scarred face that he hates, hence a mask, or does he want Franklin to create the pocket dimension? I don't know
Okay.
where they're going to go with that.
So I watched this pretty long, deep down breakdown of Secret Wars and Doomsday
Okay, so
comic.
you know a little bit of what happens.
Yes, and it's
Okay.
this great
I didn't wanna
YouTuber. Please go watch him. His comic explained. He does an excellent job.
I think I've seen some of
Definitely,
his stuff,
definitely go
yeah.
watch his stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of theory crafting that AK and I can do based on those comics, which I think we'd like to do maybe a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
Overall,
But yeah, isn't the stuff
can't
they do
freaking
with Doom and Secret Wars just incredible? Like God Emperor Doom, give me that, please.
dude, Doom is batshit
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Oh, and
Which
flashing
sorry.
back to like the first act of the movie when we see Sue as the diplomat, they do zoom into
Latveria.
Latveria, which is
Latveria?
Doom's
Yeah.
home country, which he's like the royalty from. So it was an empty chair, which was great to see. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
sure if the Doom that Doomsday is going to be based on is 828's Doom or our universe's Doom or whatever. I know it's Robert Downey Jr. We don't know who or what Doom
Which
he's
Doom?
playing.
Yes.
Which, like you said, can lead to so many different theories that we could do. But holy shit, that end credit scene tied up with the Thunderbolts end credit scene where the Fantastic Four ship is flying in
Mhm.
our universe. I want to know how we get from A to B. What the hell is about to happen? It's either Doomsday is going to be the most batshit crazy Marvel movie we ever had, or it's going to be the biggest letdown because there's so much that they need to tie up, and there's so many loose ends from phase 4 and 5, and now this is 6, that I don't know how they're going to juggle all of that. It's a lot.
Dude, either way, Phase 6 has started as a bang, and
Yes.
I
And I
cannot
think
wait.
next year we have 3 movies to look forward to. We have Doomsday, Spider-Man Brave New World, which I love the title to that.
Brave New World. Isn't that a TV show?
A book.
Am I wrong?
It's a book.
book.
Back in the day, a book.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we have the Punisher TV presentation special, which is like Punisher rated R movie book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good book too. But yeah, so we have like 3 big projects, and I know Punisher's also going to be in the Spider-Man movie, which I'm so fucking hyped for. But yeah, so we have a lot to look forward to for the MCU next year, and I'm so excited because we're done. After this, we only have, I think, 2 TV shows, or maybe 3. We have the animated Wakanda, the Eyes of Wakanda show,
Hmm.
and then we have Wonder Man, which is what's that guy? The guy who cosplayed as the mandolin in Iron Man 3, and then he also made a reappearance in Shang-Chi. That actor, what's his name?
Ben.
Trevor Slattery. He's
Oh,
gonna be
sorry. I
back
thought
in
you
that.
were- Okay.
The actor,
Yeah.
I can't remember the
Ben
actor's name in
Kingsley.
real life.
Yeah.
Kingsley,
Yeah.
yes. Yes. He's reprising his role as Trevor. Wonder Man is supposed to be based on an actor who is a failed actor or up and coming actor, but who gets powers. I don't know much about the Wonder Man character, but I love the actor. Yaya is coming back, coming to play him.
Oh,
Yaya,
nice.
he previously played Beetle from the Aquaman movies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm excited to see him in an MCU film or a TV show, but that's all we have for the rest of the year is maybe 1 TV show and an animated project. We're gonna be kind of dry on comic book stuff for a while now, for a good minute. I mean, we have Punisher, but that's DC. But
I'm
It'll
okay,
be a
dude,
dry
because I'm
fall
gonna
and
rewatch this movie and I'm gonna love it. So I'm just so
I
happy that I can say that. Like, I'm gonna rewatch a Marvel part again because I'm looking forward to it.
it's been a long time that I've had that urge to rewatch it. I think I wanted to rewatch Thunderbolts, but I ended up just watching it on Disney Plus. I didn't spend money to watch it again, which is great. Thunderbolts is an amazing movie.
That was
but
a fun
this,
movie. Yeah.
I want to watch this again in theaters. Yeah. And I haven't said that for an MCU movie since I think Wakanda Forever, like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, that I wanted to watch an MCU movie in theaters again. So keep this up. That's all I gotta say. Keep this up. We have that popcorn rating. Where does this stand? This is a home cooked
the
popcorn.
most theater pop.
I really want to spend $40 on that. The Fantastic Four bucket. We have all 4 characters. You have like Sue holding the cup. You had like
If
no, I
it
think you have Ben
was
Grimm hold whatever. Yeah, it was cool.
if it was Galactus and his helmet kind of thing, I would have gotten it. That
That
would
would be
be
cool.
dope.
If it were just a statue of Silver Surfer, Shala Ball, I would have taken that.
No.
I had to. I had to. Oh, but yeah, no, this is a theater pop. This is an IMAX. Watch it in IMAX. I wish I did. I regret it, so I want to watch it again in IMAX. But I've heard Galactus in the movie, they utilize the full aspect ratio for Galactus anytime he's on screen, so he towers over like the whole movie, and like, yeah, I want to watch that because it'd be badass to watch. Yeah, no, watch it in the theaters. Let us know down below, what did you think about this movie? Do you have any complaints? Is it better or worse than Superman? And we've now had 4 superhero movies this year. Where does this fall? And all 4 of them: Thunderbolts, Captain America, Superman, and Fantastic Four. I think this is tied for number 1.
I agree.
Alright, peace.
Alright, peace.